The St. Croix River is an exciting place. Let's learn to identify some of the freshwater unionid mussels of the St. Croix. I think this is my favorite freshwater unionid river mussel, native to Wisconsin. This is the spike. Look at that beautiful mother of pearl, also called nacre. This is an organic molecule-rich mineral deposit that is used by the mussel to protect itself and is secreted out of the mantle. And it even has growth rings on it, like a tree, because every winter the river gets very cold and every summer gets very productive and warm. And so the growth rate and the deposition of the mantle into the shell here changes in its pace with the seasons. So you get these beautiful annulus, or growth rings. So you can actually age a mussel by counting its rings, just like a tree. Everyone should know about river mussels. The native unionid river mussels of Polk County, Wisconsin, for example, they provide valuable ecological services. They clean the rivers as they filter feed, and in doing that they sort of set up favorable ecological conditions for all the aquatic life around them. They benefit everything in the river. So the beauty of a mussel, for example this pink heel splitter, cannot be ignored, but the value of the mussel is also in its ecological services. I'm not a mussel expert, and I'm using a collection that's on loan from the National Park Service, but I will say this, that in my time here in Polk County, I've been a teacher here now for 20 years, I've really come to value the connection between an environmental heritage and these animals that keep our river clean. Here in Polk County, we're proud of our environmental heritage. The late Senator Gaylord Nelson was the Earth Day founder, and he was actually born and raised in Clear Lake, Wisconsin, here in Polk County. We're one of the world's most important breeding areas for the golden-winged warbler. It's an iconic neotropical migrant. Wisconsin is a stronghold, supporting 25% of the world's golden-winged warblers. In addition to our world-class fishing lakes in Polk County and the scenic St. Croix River, we have one of the most biologically diverse mussel communities in the entire world. We have 41 species of native unionid mussels just on the St. Croix River on the western edge of Polk County. So this is called a lilliput. You can see by the size of my thumb, it's a really small freshwater mussel. Lilliputians were the little people in Gulliver's Travels. A lilliput is a small being, so it makes sense you'd call this one the lilliput. This is called the snuff box, which is a pretty funny name when you think about it. A box for carrying your snuff. People used to have little boxes where they carry their chewing tobacco or other products that they carry around in their front pocket. They could get to it easily. This is a snuff box. You can see it's a shallow water mussel. It has the rays, the camouflage pattern for being in shallow, sandy, sunny areas with some vegetation. The way you tell a snuff box from a similar deer toe is by its straight leading edge, its sharp cliffed side, and that it is wider from side to side than it is from front to back. Here's the deer toe. The deer toe kind of looks like a deer toe. You see the cloven hoof? You've got two toes there. It's also a shallow water mussel. It has the bands, the green and black. Although there is a deep water form, and here's the deep water form right here. It doesn't have the bands. But the deer toe has the sort of the look of having a cloven hoof. It's also about as long as it is wide. So dimensions are very different from the snuff box. Here's the three-horned wartyback. It earns its name. You've got 1, 2, 3 horns. 1, 2, 3 horns. So these three horns, three-horned wartyback can get fairly sizable, but they're usually found to be a small mussel. Here's the pimpleback. Pimpleback has a white nacre, and we can compare that with the purple wartyback, which has a purple nacre. When you look at the pimpleback, you can see that it has a series of small bumps, pretty much on about 2/3 of the shell. This should be about 2/3. The purple wartyback has the pimples or the warts on about half of the shell, or maybe 1/3 of the shell, and it has the purple nacre. That's the pimpleback, three-horned wartyback, and purple wartyback.
So these are three that you might consider studying together. We'll add a fourth, and that is the monkey face. The reason we call it a monkey face is because it kind of, if you hold the right one to the side, it kind of looks like a monkey's face. You can see the brow ridge, the nose, and the little smile there. The monkey face similarly has bumps on it, has a white knacker, three-horned warty back, pimple back, purple warty back, and monkey face. Pistol grip looks just like its name. It kind of looks like the handle of a pistol, and they're really a great one for looking at the growth rings. You can really age them well. You can see those different annuli. Mussels live in temperate conditions and experience cold water and warm water parts of the year, and so they lay down their deposits at different time intervals or different speeds during the seasons. And so here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 years old on this one. Probably 5 if you consider it's a larval year. It's pistol grip. This is the fat mucket. The fat mucket is a Lampsilus mussel. This is the male. You can see it's a shallow water mussel. It's got the green and tan rays. Here's the female. Female's got a big bump. Being a female is more expensive when it comes to reproduction. And a lot of times in animals you can see that the females have adaptations specifically for maturing their eggs or growing their babies. Here's the pocketbook. Pocketbook is also a Lampsilus mussel. You can see it's really similar to the fat mucket. The difference in shape is pretty obvious, and when you look at a pocketbook in its large form here, it kind of is like holding a wallet full of money. So there's two Lampsilus, the fat mucket and the pocketbook. The black sandshell and the spike are worth looking at together. The black sandshell is kind of an oval shape, whereas the spike has a nice point to it, which is where it gets its name, spike. Both of them have a really pleasant knacker. The black sandshell tends to be kind of a pink knacker, and the spike tends to be more of a purple knacker, although the color of the knacker can vary. I've seen really dark spikes. On the Red Cedar River, they are deep purple. So here's the black sandshell and the spike. The spike's the pointy one. Here's the pink and white heel splitters. Both these get their name from this really, really sharp point, kind of just ahead of their hinge. And if you were to step on that, clearly that could split your heel. The pink heel splitter and the white heel splitter. Mussels are known for their fluting sometimes. Fluting is when you have different ridges like this. So this is the fluted shell, and you can see it has lots of fluting right along here. There's the fluting right along here. And then the most pronounced fluting is on the three ridge. You see these really big ridges running right along here. So that's the three ridge, 1, 2, 3 ridges, and the fluted shell. Lots of really subtle fluting. Last but not least, for our quiz we have the butterfly, and the butterfly gets its name for obvious reasons. It's got a really pretty butterfly-like pattern. That's the butterfly. So let's go through here. Butterfly, fluted shell for its fluting, three ridges, white heel splitter, pink heel splitter for that little point there that could definitely split your heel, the spike for its point, and the black sandshell, which are both really similar. They both have that pink knacker or purple knacker and that lustrous black outer covering. Two Lampsilus, the pocketbook and the fat mucket, very similar. And then you have the pistol grip, which looks just like its name. The monkey face, which if you are talented, you can find the monkey's face right there. Do you see that? Brow ridge, nose, and a little smile. Purple warty back for its purple knacker. The pimple back with its white knacker. The three-horned warty back for its three little horns. This is my favorite one right here. See that? The deer toe for its cloven toe. Compared to that, the snuff box for its wider than deep. And the little being, the lilliput, the Lilliputian of them all. I hope that helps. Just a little topography on the mussel. The first thing is the beak or the umbo. And then next to that we can see the annuli that are going along here from the posterior. And then along this side we also have the hinge, and those little bumps or warts are actually technically called pustules. So the monkey face has lots of pustules. Here you can differentiate between the beak or umbo and the hinge. So you can see that that beak was kind of like dates all the way back to the larval little mussel. There's that hinge and beak or umbo. Well, I hope you found that tutorial useful. Remember, here in Polk County, we are really proud of our environmental heritage. Make sure you can identify your freshwater unionid river mussels. Good luck.